Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Into the Light podcast. I'm your host, Edina Mauvana. Today we have guest speaker Laura Giedra. Laura does beyond quantum healing, BQH sessions, past life regression work, all things divine feminine, divine feminine healing, personal coaching, and all kinds of different energy work and transformational healing work. Hi, Laura. How are you doing today?
Hi, Edina. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, we're so excited to have you. And I actually have known Laura for a few months, and I originally found Laura it's on Instagram. And Laura, you post the most amazing, positive stories I love to hear. And I just started hearing about some of what you were posting about. It was called BQH, right?
Yeah.
And I learned that BQH stands for Beyond Quantum Healing. And I wanted to have you on as a guest today just to tell our listeners maybe a little bit more about your work, what you do, your background, and just kind of what brought you here, what made you become a healer and amazing woman that you are today. So can you tell me a little bit more about what is Beyond Quantum Healing?
Thank you so much for this introduction. And yes, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. And yes, Beyond Quantum Healing, this is something that I started practicing a few years ago. This modality includes, different things like past life regression and also people who have psychic abilities can really use those abilities during those sessions intuitively. And that's exactly what I do, and I love it so much.
Amazing. Yeah, I also saw that you specialize in everything around chakra balancing, all kinds of chakra healing, and you also do these channeled sessions in your work. So I also understand that you incorporate all the divine feminine teachings. You offer these kind of karmic clearings during your channeled work, and it basically sounds like you just help heal your clients and really help them transform their lives. And I wanted to ask a little bit about the channeled sessions that you do, because I understand that in these BQH sessions, basically what you're doing is you're doing like a hypnosis state, and then you're bringing in a channeled kind of guidance to help your clients when they're in these sessions. Is that right?
Yes, yes. I have clients who are very spiritual, who want to grow and expand, but they're struggling with hearing, with connecting with their higher self and their guides. And that's where my abilities come in, because I can really connect and channel messages. I sometimes see visions, sometimes I hear words, and that's how I can guide my clients towards their best and highest timeline, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what brought you to this work? Because I understand just from things that we've talked about, it's all been a part of this kind of ascension journey, or your own personal healing journey. So I was just curious about, what brought you to the point where you wanted to like start doing these sessions and do this healing work. Was this a part of your own journey and your own healing?
Yes, yes, exactly. Everything started actually from me wanting to help others. Now that I reflect on how everything started, I see that I just felt so much suffering around, and I just, went so deep into my own soul, because I realized if I can heal myself, because everything started from me wanting to heal my physical body.
Oh, yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. I know you've had your is it, what is there?
Yes, rheumatoid
Arthritis?
arthritis.
Arthritis, yeah.
Yes, for a very long time. And at some point in my life, I realized that I got myself sick,
Oh,
with all the emotions that I was just keeping inside of myself, because I always was interested in self-development and self-growth because I wanted to be better. I saw, my ego problems
mm,
and this balance in my life. I observed that. I just didn't know how to do this healing work at that time. So
so,
eventually one meeting with a very special person who I recognized as my twin flame,
oh, okay.
this whole situation kind of triggered me into committing to this work
How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
Okay, so 3 years ago,
Yeah,
you were in a completely different state. You were
absolutely.
unhealthy. Describe your situation at that time.
Very unhappy with where I was. I felt like I was very, very behind my life path.
Oh,
I didn't feel fulfilled. I wasn't sure why I'm here, what I'm supposed to be doing on this planet, things like that.
all the questioning. We're sitting here going, why is this happening?
Yes.
Right, right. And so you said that the journey really was because of physical ailments. So were you very like unhealthy? What was your physical state at that time?
See, I was always trying to be very healthy. I was trying to eat well and I was trying to, be active, but emotionally, I couldn't regulate myself.
Mm,
I would keep all my emotions. I didn't know how to deal with them. Only now I realize this. At that point, I didn't know. I thought it was just that's how I was. And there's
right.
nothing I can do about it. Yeah.
So it was like emotional. I hear this sometimes, like it's like emotional, everything comes down to your nervous system regulation. Even with my kids, like I can see their, like my son, he has a burst and it's like a dysregulation of the nervous system. So that's also where I understand some of the negative energies can actually like enter into our physical bodies and our mental bodies, spiritual. So maybe that's the point at where we have like this negative energy problem, right, in our lives.
Yes, yes. And then when you realize it, you can start this healing journey. You can start working with, because everything is energy. That's what I teach my clients. That's what I want everybody to understand. Because from understanding how the energy works, we can really start from a clear new page,
Mhm.
see the transformation that we desire.
Yeah, well, I think even the concept of everything being energy is I mean, it's quite new to people, like, and we obviously all have our different kind of spiritual traditions and things like that. But what really does that mean to you? Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What how are we energy, and what does that mean in like the ascension process, for example, and the quantum energy universe that we live in? What does that really mean to you?
Well, see, energy to me is like state of being that we are, the frequency, right? And we can choose what frequency we want to be attuned to.
Right. We want to improve it, go to higher vibrational frequencies to
Uh,
attract those things in our life.
Because everything starts from within us, and then we project that out. So if we project anger or negative feelings, negative emotions out, then that's what we get back. So exactly, that's what I'm teaching my clients
Yeah.
to understand how important it is to raise our vibrations, acknowledging that we are humans, and just balancing and adjusting ourselves, learning how to do that.
Amazing. Yeah, I know that's something I want to learn how to do more. And so let's go back to your journey then. So 3 years ago were in a lower vibrational energy state. You had more mental and physical afflictions. And so what was it that led you, what did you discover specifically that led you onto the path of doing quantum energy healing?
So after I met my twin flame, my divine masculine, my wounds started coming out all where, like, I was so triggered by this me that, I really wanted to honestly just help myself to survive, because I just wasn't understanding what was going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying different things, and eventually I came across energy and energy readers. And then I discovered Dolores Cannon, because I realized it's all about soul and, all
Like
these.
soul purpose, right? We're all
Yes, it's everything is so connected, and then it eventually, guided, like, this journey just became something I did not even expect.
amazing. Yeah, well, it sounds to me like a lot of the times that I hear about people's spiritual journey, it starts with kind of unprogramming our trauma wounds. Like you and I both, for example, like you have an immigrant family history. We have all of this generational trauma, and like I've heard about epigenetics and things around healing our generational trauma wounds, and we carry these things from, I don't know, I've heard hundreds of generations or things like that. So yeah, can you tell me a little bit more about the process of healing generational trauma wounds, and how you see that as important, and maybe how you did that for yourself?
Yes, so that's exactly how I started healing myself, with going into my past lives.
Oh yeah.
This is how I realized all the karmic connections, and how we create karma throughout our lifetimes, because we are, as souls, we reincarnate,
Okay.
in this reality to experience different things, to grow and expand. That's our soul purpose. That's why we come here into this planet.
So this is amazing, because I'm a little bit new into the world of understanding our past lives, past life regression work. I think a lot of people out there don't even really think about these things, like or they just haven't decided whether they want to even think they're true or not, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
this is a big thing in the spiritual community. At least I know my background, like as a Muslim, it's very confusing to think about being reincarnated, or whether or not that's even something God wants us to believe or not. So can you tell me a little bit more about this, about yeah, how it works with past life regression work, and where this bad karma, they call it like your karmic relationships, where we're basically forced to deal with this person, and we've been maybe dealing with this over past lives. It's like a repeating pattern, right? Is that how they look at it?
Yes, exactly. And we come here to learn lessons, and we help each other on soul level. We are all one. We're all, brothers and sisters, as I say, and we just come here to experience this reality. So it's important to understand that forgiveness, when we're really connecting with our ancestors, is very important, because I really notice when I work with people that we hold a lot of negative emotions towards our even parents and grandparents. And this is also something that we need to realize. They did the best they could, and forgiveness is such a important part of healing.
Right.
Accepting. And recently in my sessions, a lot of ancestors were coming through for my clients, offering their support, with this ascension process.
Right. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? So the when you have these channeled sessions, now I'm hearing like, okay, ancestors can come in. What else happens in these sessions? Who else do you connect with, like on a conscious level, like from our subconscious level?
Yes, with different beings from different, let's say, energetic vibrational dimensions, as we
Okay.
can call
Like
them.
like angels are an example, right? On a certain higher frequency.
Angels, yes. I'm very strongly connected with Magdalene Collective
Oh, okay. Yes, this is like divine feminine energy.
energy. Yes, yes. So ascended masters like Jesus, Saint Germain, these energies that I feel very connected to, and I work very closely with.
Right, because you're also, doing healing work in this process, right? So how does that work? Is this healing energy coming directly to you or through you? How does that work exactly when you're doing energy healing work?
So I am a channel for
Okay.
and all these energies support us, because that's a part of ascension where these benevolent light beings are trying to help us
Okay.
with the ascension process, and through channels like me stepping into our mission, doing our soul work,
Yeah.
that's how they help the collective. That's
Ama-
idea. That's the goal, to raise the vibration of this beautiful planet.
Oh yeah, I get it. And I've heard like because we're all energy, like we talked about in the beginning, and when one person like basically out like increases their vibrational frequency, it also has effect around everyone around us, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So that's a beautiful effect. And I just like to spread the word and help offer, what I experienced myself, and to help others to heal, to grow, to expand, to yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about the root, the physical healing that you've done. So you've been doing this energy work not only with others but on yourself. And now, can you tell me a little bit about that, like where we are now in your transformation versus where you were a few years ago?
Yes. I really went a long way, and I'm really happy with where I am today. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was in a very depressed state for a while, and this journey is not easy. That's why I feel I was so called to go through it and then help other women
Okay.
who need assistance, who need help, who need support in their journey, who resonate with divine feminine energy.
Amazing. And so your goal now is to work with women. It sounds like on a one-to-one basis or with the group sessions. Is that right? Are you and your focus? Can you tell me a little bit more about who you want to, who you best work with and what work you do?
Yes, I feel like I want to support, divine feminine leaders in different walks of life, just trying to create their dream life, to
Yeah.
be in balance, to learn how to be in this state of flow, but also bring the abundance that they deserve, things like that. That's what resonates with me the most right now.
Amazing. Yeah. And maybe because I know we were talking a little bit before, and you know, these processes really take time. Like our healing journey takes 6 months, a year before we're even really transforming into who we want to be. So can you tell me a little bit, like when you're working with someone on this journey, like what is it that you're working on? Like what is your kind of course look like? What kind of things do you end up doing and covering when you're working together with someone?
Yes, so we always start from energy work and, clearing everything that's no longer serves us. And that's a process, absolutely. And, throughout my program, I guide them how to stay on course, because eventually I know that they will get on the other side where they want to be. It's just a matter of finding the techniques, finding the ways that help them. But the core, the idea, it's the same. We also incorporate ancestral healing, clearing all the karma, so we can start fresh and build, new foundation, basically.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like, what I've seen, that everyone's journey, we know, is a little different, right? It's like, so when we're working together with our coaches or healers, like, I know you take a very personalized kind of approach, right? So, yeah, do you feel like each person needs a very specific kind of, map that they're following in this process, or what do you see as most effective to get the best results?
Yes, I feel like that's where my psychic abilities and my intuitive
Mm,
abilities come in very handy, because I can make a plan specific for the person feeling their energy
mm,
intuitively, and that's how we work in this flow, but also incorporate the masculine energy into taking actions, into planning, into making things into reality, not only dreaming about it.
right. So, yeah, you mentioned the psychic abilities. I'm a little bit curious to hear more about that, because again, a lot of this is kind of new to me, and maybe our listeners are, a lot of us don't really feel like we're in tune with any kind of psychic abilities, right? Or do we even have them, right? It's like, can you tell me a little bit more about how, gotten into your discovery of your psychic abilities and what that kind of looked like?
So I wanted to start with saying that we all are psychics.
Okay.
Just forgot these abilities.
Mhm.
So, but of course, some of us have them, more online. They come more online for some than others. But yeah, to me, rediscovered them a few years ago as well, when I started working
Mhm.
as a BQH practitioner.
Yeah.
That's when I noticed they started coming online.
And is this also part of the process when you're working with clients, that their intuitive abilities get stronger in those ways?
I feel so, yes. And that's what I'm guiding them towards ultimately.
Yeah.
So
And yeah, because I've heard, like, ultimately, when we're tapping into intuitive abilities, we are really improving that connection to source energy, or, to God source, right? So, um, yeah, that is a process that also interests me. And maybe you could tell me a little bit more about how that connection works. Like, how do we all try and connect more to that power, and what do we really do to get there?
well, first thing that came right away is meditation,
Oh,
like
yeah.
taking, you know, a little bit of time to just try to connect with ourselves,
Hmm.
and really feeling this unconditional love. It's so important to, realize that we didn't come here for suffering. We came here to be happy. We came here to create, to be creator beings that we are. So that's the transformation too, where we realize that we have this potential to heal, not only all on physical level, but I mean on all levels.
Yeah, well, I certainly want to work on getting my intuitive abilities improved. And so it sounds like basically going through these kind of karmic challenges in life, and clearing out our karma. What do we say to people when people are wondering, like, well, why are all these bad things happening to me? Why do I have all this bad karma apparently that I need to fix? Like, what do we do when we have that kind of problem in our life?
Well, yes, we need to realize that we create this balance when we do good things, right? That's a good energy, positive energy. But sometimes, yeah, we make choices that are not so aligned with our higher selves, and that's how we create all this karma that is like ego-based behavior, getting involved in all sorts of situations because of anger, all those lower vibrational feelings that we may have. And that's, when we create this balance, eventually, if we want to ascend, we need to balance things out. And that's why we choose, and a lot of souls chose on this in this lifetime, take care of all this karma to be able to ascend.
Right. Yeah, and I
So
heard you say it's these like lower ego problems, fear, anger. And I've even heard that these energies, you can even have like worse problems with negative entities and all kinds of energetic problems that happen when we don't clear these out. It's
yes,
yeah.
and this can turn into situations, diseases, all sorts of things in our lives that go not the way we want.
Right. And I sometimes think like every person now, they're like, it's everyone is responsible for going through their own healing journey. That's really what I see. And then I see it where people are not doing the work in my life and they're living like in this, lower vibrational reality. And then I feel like one of the things we're seeing is that it's actually mandatory pretty much to do these things. Can you tell me a little bit about what you see there? Like, are you feeling like everyone at this time is having to go through this right now on Earth?
Listen, yes, that's exactly what it is. We have no choice anymore.
Why are these energies happening to us from like the universe, or what is going on exactly with these energies right now?
Oh yes, very powerful energies are coming into this planet. As I mentioned, a lot of benevolent beings. Yes, everyone in the universe is really in it's even, I don't know how to describe this, but it's in everyone's best interest that we raise our vibration as a collective, start working together, helping each other versus fighting and not trying to take accountability for our actions and for our thoughts, and just as a collective own, what we're doing right now to this planet also.
Right. And you're saying that, we're stuck oftentimes, it sounds like, in these patterns because of past life regression. So, before we kind of wrap up, I was just curious about, why is it important to, want to maybe do past life regression work in the first place? Like, how does that really help clear out what's happening in our everyday life in the here and now?
Well, see, looking into the past lives, we can better understand what karma we created and how we can deal with it. We can get guidance on that. So what we did, and because usually my clients are shown specific lifetimes where there was a specific situation that was meant to teach them something, and they, it's a cycle. It's usually we see the cycle in and pattern in
Pattern.
behaviors, yes, that we need to learn from and move on.
Yeah, so it's
yes.
like we had the same patterns in a previous life, and a lot of times from my understanding, it's a lot of these trauma wounds, especially with from our families, from our loved ones, from our distorted masculine and distorted feminine problems that are creating these. And so it sounds like we're patterning from previous life, and then we're kind of doing it here again in this life. And then what are we supposed to do? Just kind of learn the lesson here until we move to the next level? Is that what's going on?
Yes, so that we don't create karma. I mean, we all have balance as a collective. I really see it. I sometimes call myself visionary because I really see how collectively, we can eventually live in a very beautiful world if only we take care of these things within ourselves and around ourselves. But
right.
through unconditional love, through raising our vibration, through healing our wounds and all these.
Amazing. Well, I definitely agree. And, like they say, it starts within, starts with our own self, right? Our own healing journey beginning. So, thank you so much, Laura. And I really appreciate it. I want to let our guests know that if they want to contact you, Laura does her work. It's on a rolling basis, ongoing throughout the year. It sounds like you take some clients, and I know you're having a upcoming program launch and all of that. So Laura, can you just for a few minutes tell our guests where they can find you if they want to, maybe set up a call to have a consultation on your work?
Yes. So I offer individual sessions. I offer past life regression sessions. I offer coaching sessions, a longer program of 6 months where I guide my clients through all the transformation. And I can be found on Instagram at I am Laura Giedra.
Okay. Yeah. And we'll have that information ready below for our viewers. So I'll put that on the podcast link. And thank you so much, Laura, for joining us today. And this was Into the Light with your host. I'm Edina Mauvana. And we appreciate everyone who's joined and tuned in today. Thank you so much.